All right, everyone, check it out. Finally got the block back for the ultimate Ford Flathead. 4 months. It sat at the machine shop for 4 months until all the work got done to it. And it wasn't because there was that much work to do to it, it's just because they're just so dang busy. But 4 months went by without me having this block, so there's gonna be a big lapse in my videos. I was rolling right along on it with doing all the porting and the crack checking and all that stuff. I had to bring it back to the machine shop to get the boring done on it, the line honing, and the valve job done on it. And it was there for 4 months until they finally called me and said, your block is finally done. So just a couple of the things they did was bore it. The cylinders look great now. The valve job, they reground the valve seats, matched them to the Manley valves that I have for. I got stainless Manley valves that'll go in it. I have Ross forged pistons that are going to go in it. And check out this massive billet center cap I have here. It's by H&H Flatheads. And if you're going to go over 200 horsepower on a flathead, they highly recommend this main cap. And that was why it had to be a line hone, was because the main caps are really close. But once you bolt them and torque them on, I went with ARP main studs for it. Or I'm sorry, main bolts. And they torque everything in place and then they align hone it, so everything should be good and true on the bottom end now. And look at this little puny stock main cap that was in that center, and that just wasn't going to do it for the almost 300 horsepower I'm going to try and achieve out of this engine with the supercharger on it. So the block looks great. They put the cam bearings in it also, so now it's ready for me to paint and start assembling, and I'll get back to it here soon. I took on a huge project this summer. My family, my wife and my son, we bought a piece of land together and we're building a cabin on it right now. And so every bit of my time has been dedicated to getting this thing done before winter. And this is gonna probably turn into more of a winter project now. So I'll get back to it, but I'll get it painted before then. And then we'll go through the building steps of it, all the parts that I'm gonna use in it. And it's going to be a great engine, and once it's all together, it's going to go on the dyno, and I'm going to shoot some video while it's running on the dyno, and it should be just awesome to see this thing come to life and see what kind of numbers we actually do end up getting out of it. And I'm holding my goal, short of 300. The engine builder, he said he'd bet $100 bill all day long that this thing pulls 300 on the dyno. He's seen a few of these things get built, and he does a lot of machine work for a well-known flathead builder in this area. His name's Rick Schnell, and he does a lot of the blocks for him. And he's seen Rick build several motors that are 200 horsepower that are naturally aspirated, and he's seen him build them over 300 horsepower with superchargers and stuff on them. And this one, I was hoping to get 275 out of it, and if I get that, I'll be excited. If I get 300, I'll be absolutely ecstatic. I mean, that'll be just unbelievable. But I'm really shooting for 275, and that'll be just awesome to get it out of it. And it's going in you can just kind of see the car right over my shoulder over here. That's what it's going to be going in, and that's a whole nother series of videos, the building of the car. I just wanted to keep the engine and the car in two different series of videos. I have the transmission for it sitting right over here. It's a 5-speed. And I had that thing all rebuilt too, and it's odd. We finally figured out what it was out of. It's out of a 72 Toyota Celica car, of all things. Who would ever thought you'd take a Toyota Celica 5-speed and adapt it behind a Ford Flathead? Never would have thought of that. I'm sure most people would have never thought of doing that, but somebody decided that's what they were going to use, and it works great. I mean, the car was running and driving when I got it, and the transmission worked excellent in it. So I had a guy I know that does transmissions. He went through the whole thing, gave it a clean bill of health, and it's going back in it. And so I have a Toyota transmission behind a Ford Flathead. So can't say there's probably too many of combinations like that going on, but I have it. So stay tuned. I'll get this block painted up, and we'll start putting it together, and we'll get this thing on the dyno. And like I said, once I start assembling everything, I'll explain every part I'm using, and why and where I got my information from. And so a lot of people have been watching these videos, so please keep watching them. I'm sorry to drag them out. It's going to take me a while, but here's the block. we're getting close now. Now we can start putting it back together, and now the fun's going to begin. So thanks for watching, guys, and please sub.